Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the HIT.OR.DIE podcast with your host, HIT.OR.DIE and Chad Rothford, and special guest, none other than the very own Pags, the Pag Meter.
Godfather.
The godfather of sports, and he truly is. And we are going to get on here and talk about these awesome high school brackets that every team should be proud of.
Chad, you were so excited that while we were doing spaces on Twitter, you got off because you said, I'm going to wait till we record the podcast to get your take, and I'm glad we did wait. First, make sure you're following the podcast on Twitter, Instagram, at HIT.OR.DIE podcast. Also, go to YouTube and subscribe, and also make sure you're downloading. Happy Mother's Day as well. Yesterday was Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there.
Happy Mommy Day.
Hope everybody.
You realize Mother's Day is the second most celebrated holiday in the world?
I think I've heard that, but I'm not. I don't.
Christmas, Mother's Day. You know where Father's Day is?
I think it's in the 20s, right?
It's like 22nd.
I saw like a stand-up guy do it. Oh, it's hilarious.
How is there 22 fucking more things more important than Father's Day?
The Arbor Day.
Yes.
I think Halloween beats us out too.
Yes, it does.
Yeah. Got to shout out some of the little rundown here. We've had a lot of, listen, it's been a couple weeks since Chad and I have been on the mics. Lots gone on, obviously, with Major League everything. So we're way behind, but just a quick recap of the local area guys. Starting with the JUCOs, you had COS made a postseason. I think Merced did also from the CVC, Fresno City and Reedley College. Both Reedley College and Fresno City headed to Supers, and City lost to Folsom Lake in their Super Regional, and Reedley fell to Santa Rosa. But, I mean, when's the last time it really got that far? I don't know. I mean, they've been competitive since Coach Purse got there.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's awesome. I love it.
Can you imagine before he got there how bad it used to be?
Well, that's what I'm saying. They never get
this
even
is one
to
of the best stories.
Won a
So
regional.
way to go, Reedley.
But, yeah, congrats to both programs.
Could you imagine if he had the same talent as Fresno City?
Dude, I mean, well, we've said that before, too.
Yeah.
Just it's great, coach. Good. Congrats to Reedley and City on good seasons and making a little run there. FPU baseball was hosted the Pac West Conference Tourney last week. They went 1-2, falling to Azusa and Point Loma. They did beat Holy Names to survive, and I think Azusa ended up winning the conference tournament Friday over Point Loma 10-6. And then your dogs. It's been the story the last few weeks. They've been in must-win situations basically the last 2 weekends. Mm-hmm. They go take 2 out of 3 from Nevada, sweep UNLV this last weekend, and got some help from Nevada, knocking New Mexico off at home 2 out of 3. So I think the number for the dogs is 1. I think if New Mexico loses 1 game to San Diego State, it's done. They're in.
They're in.
I think so too. But got to play the games, get all the outs. Right now, it's looking pretty good. The dogs will be at Cal Poly Tuesday, and to be home this final series of the weekend or this weekend against St. Mary's. So be out there, go out there and check out the dogs. Hopefully, they can scratch their way in or hold their position and be at the tournament they're hosting. Which would be.
When was the last time they hosted? Dude, I can't even remember.
Don't know.
I mean, since I've been alive, I can't even remember. Not even the WAC tournament.
It's been.
Wasn't there something in the 90s, like the regional was here or something like that?
They did a regional back in the day. I remember UCLA coming.
Yeah, or was it USC? One of the two. It was one of them. I was in Little League. I just remember being a big deal, and it was in Fresno. I don't know.
Those were the days you couldn't get a seat. It was old Biden Field. It was packed.
I want to say it was like the mid 90s. They hosted.
Are the crowds getting better?
I think they were.
I think they're getting better.
Yeah.
I don't think they're. Oh man, never mind. That rendering thing got me at the baseball stadium.
I mean, we're talking about the dogs.
Well, they took away the dugout club section and put those stands in that new thing. I think
he's talking about the new Elevate deal.
The Elevate thing I thought was horseshit.
What about it though?
Well, I don't think you add on seats to the stadium. I'm talking about Biden. You don't add on. We don't even fill them all.
Or fix the seats. You were talking
fix. They're pink. Fix the seats. Fix where Leffler is in the building. Make all that look nice. Let's make the dugouts better. Let's make the locker room better. Let's make the barn better. Let's do stuff for the player. I think the player should come first when you're trying to build in a program for recruiting and stuff like that. I just don't think adding seats is going to help. I mean, we don't even fill these ones. Adding seats isn't going to bring more fans.
I think the players aren't so concerned with the social gatherings above where they're
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not AAA.
Well, I mean, but you're
AA,
taking away the dugout club where they've sat and stood the whole time next to the dugout. You're taking away the area where the grounds crew is, because that thing goes right up to the barn. And then does it really need to be that close to the barn where the players are, working and stuff? I feel like you could do more with money.
Maybe they are underneath that is an extension of the
Well, then they should have added that.
Yeah, they should have.
Because if they added that, then I might have been all for it.
Yeah.
I'm
with you. We
maybe they should put windows underneath where the Bulldog Club can still be under there.
Yeah, their own
watching the game.
Sure.
Or there's an entrance from the back for the players to get it. Because now it's like, okay, how do they get into the locker room now? That's all blocked off, it looked like. Like we've walked in there. That's all seating now or whatever, a building. So I don't know. I didn't like that part. I agree. I like the football stuff. I know we're not into football, but I don't think that's ever going to happen. $250 million, where's it going to come from?
That's one of the greatest marketing media moves ever. It's like me saying, hey, I want to get $1 million and build a house on the bluffs. Well, how are you going to get it? Not sure, but it's out there on Twitter.
We want it.
Okay.
I want it, though.
Yeah, I want it. If they could raise $10 million, I'd be shocked. Because right now, they're still trying to figure out NIL money.
Yeah.
And they want to get NIL going, and that's the next thing. If they could raise $250 million, we got a great program.
Yeah.
But right now, we have no money at all. So I know it's great to get it out there. And
it looks great.
It does.
Looks great.
It does. And
you get everybody excited.
Yeah.
I get that.
And we want that. I wanted that. I was excited.
Some of us that bring ourselves back down to reality a little bit.
Some people do. Well, again, the 250s and over what period of time? I guess I haven't read any of the the info packet on
there's
it.
There's like one stage, two stage, all that kind of stuff.
I'm not sure of any of the I just saw what everybody else saw. The renderings.
Yeah.
It looks great. It would be fantastic. Does it help? Is it a kind of a, like you said, a marketing play even to like push towards the Big 12 and saying, hey, these are our goals.
I know we're in California. We're in the middle of California. I don't know. The Big 12 says, I don't know. I just don't see.
Well, it would help with playing games in the early spring where the Midwest is, rain, snow, whatever. Those teams could come to California and play some games.
So what happens when the Pac-12 falls apart, when it just frizzles up?
I think the Mountain West becomes the Pac-12. I don't know if they change the name, the WAC.
It'll be the Mountain West on steroids. Is that
yeah, maybe. But is it going to be on steroids if all the Pac-12 teams are out?
Well, most of them. I mean, Cal and Stanford won't play with Fresno State, right? They won't be in the same league.
Yeah, I don't know.
You got Utah can't wait to get out. Washington. Who else we got? I mean, they want out. Oregon. They all want out. So what happens?
Well,
with
it's
the
like,
Pac-12?
why do they want out? What is causing them to get out? Why can't we make the Pac-12 better?
I think
don't
California football, California sports is in trouble. We got to figure out.
Well, it's kind of where I was going. Again, with the Dogs here, obviously, we just mentioned they swept UNLV, big weekend. The offense came alive like they haven't all year. I think, 10 home runs over the weekend, 5 bombs on Friday, 2 from Nico Mitchell, 4 Saturday, 2 from Grady Morgan, and I think Hoffy hit 1 on Sunday. Roman Angelo was fantastic on Saturday, going 9 innings, complete game, 1 hit or 3 hits, 1 run. And I mean, go to gobulldogs.com for your tickets. Again, this is the last weekend hosting St. Mary's. So get out there, get ready for this Mountain West tournament. But the conversation a couple weeks ago was, oh, that's terrible. They're terrible, blah, blah, blah. They can't win with the best talent. Which I think is kind of I don't think you can say that because I don't want to say that, but I don't think you can discredit talent elsewhere. Is there good talent here? Of course there is. Is it the best? San Diego State's pretty good. San Jose State's got some pretty good players. Like, you're discrediting talent in other areas. I just don't like that.
It stopped raining too.
Well,
it stops raining, the sun comes out, and good teams show up now.
Well, and listen, we've been behind Ovi from the get-go.
Yes.
We remain behind Ovi. And I know some people were saying, like, kind of excited to see who this opens up to. And you and I have talked, and it's like, well, who's the upgrade that you can afford to get? Because I've heard some rumors, and some big schools have been contacted, and they could just be rumors, but it was an easy no answer. I don't know. I'm to the point. My thought is, if you're going to give any coach a trial, give a week, 2 years. Give him a 2-year deal. Give him a 3-year deal. You're going to give anybody else the same amount of time. So why not be a dog? Why not be a guy that's been here? I understand the recruiting, a part of it for some people. That's been one of the topics brought up, but I don't know where you guys stand on it. I still.
Well, that's where I stand with the facility upgrades. Do more for the player. Do what's best for the recruiting and incoming guys. Like, that's why the stands doesn't make sense to me. Even if you want to get into the Big 12, you think we're going to get Big 12 talent because we upgraded the stadium? No, we're going to get Big 12 type of talent if we have good facilities for the players, a good weight room, a good hitting facility, a good, all the bells and whistles that they want to see now. The locker room's a pretty small locker room for a Division I locker room.
Yeah.
Even at Oral Roberts, we're a small town school, but our locker room was a lot bigger and better. And it has we have the game room, the players lounge, we have all that shit there. Why can't Fresno State do that stuff? And that's where I think that's where you're going to bring in the recruits, the highly recruits, the ones that you lose to a Stanford, to Cal Poly, to, Northridge, the Big West schools.
Well, so to that point of best talent, and if you look at it, I don't know if you guys have seen the top 25 in college baseball. In the NCAA's website, they do their rankings, and I got the coaches poll. In the NCAA's top 25, there's 3 teams west of Texas in the top 25. Stanford, Oregon State, and Washington in the NCAA poll. Coaches poll had 2. Stanford and Oregon State, west of Texas. So to say that the best talent, I don't know if you can say that. And if that is, they're not staying here.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about all of it. Fullerton, Pepperdine, UCLA, USC, San Diego,
Arizona State.
California is not like it used to be.
Just the West Coast.
It's
just even look at the West. Arizona, you just said Arizona. Like, where are they at?
Yeah.
If this is the best, the hotbed, they're not staying here. We got 2 teams representing the West Coast in the top 25, and that's back-to-back weeks.
Yeah.
So to say that, to use the argument that the best talent, I'm sorry, it's not. That's not what the data shows. That's not what that's just not what that's not what you see.
Yeah. And I agree with that. And I've kind of, going and playing in Oklahoma and seeing talent in the Midwest and playing against East Coast teams, I think being from California, you have that, like, no, we're from California, we're better than everybody. Because, seeing All-Americans in a state that's way smaller than California, you're like, you wouldn't be an All-American in California, which could be true. But also, who's to say I'm right? I just go off of the guys I played with. Like, I just think, Jason Donald was one of the best players to ever play in our area. And he was one of the best I've ever seen playing with. And he wasn't even a first-team All-American in California. So it's just, it's hard to say, but... And I think maybe it comes in waves too, talent-wise. But then again, like you said, which is a great point, those guys from California are leaving. They're going to the SEC. They're going to the Big 12. They're going to the Big 10. They're not staying in the Midwest. In the West Coast.
They're getting to play in front of 10 to 15,000.
Yeah, I mean, Ole Miss is in the dumps, and there's still 12,000 people at those games.
It's amazing how the back east or Midwest, wherever you want to go.
Do you think it's just that? Do you think there's a lot more opportunity over there too? Well,
I also think, okay, in Mississippi, who do you play? What team are you rooting for? You're rooting for Ole Miss or Mississippi State, period. When you're in California, you're going to have, I go for Stanford, I go for Cal, I go for UCLA, I go USC, Cal Poly, San Diego State. How many teams this fan base is?
Why aren't we in that league?
Because our fan base is so small.
Well, wouldn't you like to have...
Because in Fresno, not everybody's rooting for Fresno State.
We should never get on an airplane at Fresno State to save some money. Big West, play everyone here in California. There's plenty of great teams here. Instead of going to New Mexico, who cares? Do you think anybody in this area cares about playing at New Mexico?
Well, okay. You make a good point.
I mean, Air Force is good, but Air Force.
Well, and I talked to.
Do you think they're taking extra batting in the
snow?
tunnel? Or are they doing 500 push-ups and 500 sit and looking at the Air Force? I'm not going to be here much longer. It's just a horrible league for baseball, softball.
Well, and I got it. This is not mine. I was talking to a friend of mine, this guy that owns our studio, Mr. Jeff Cox. Shout out, Jeff. But he was talking about Air Force, and he's like, for people to say that Air Force is at top the Mountain West in baseball right now.
I agree, but we have to take 3 airplanes to get there.
But they can only recruit. Okay. They recruit a select player to go there.
Yeah.
So are we getting out? Is everybody getting out recruited by Air Force?
You got to be a specially gifted person.
I'm just saying,
to
like
be Air
that's.
Force. Not here.
You can't say that the best talent is here, with the best players, and there is very good talent
everywhere.
That's not to say that there's not good talent here. That's not what I'm saying. But to say it's the best and that Fresno State should be. If people talk like they should be number one in the country.
Well, if you look at overall, to me, Little League all the way up, because look, you just mentioned Fresno City had a great year. Reedley had a great year. Fresno Pacific's having a good year. COF, Fresno State. This is a great hub for baseball and softball. We have softball players, a lot of D1 players now out of here. Is Fresno State struggling? Yes. Hopefully they'll pick it up again. But we got talent here.
And they rebounded this year. From last year to this year, massive improvement.
We've got a lot of talent here.
For softball. Absolutely. Congrats, too, to the softball. I mean, it's not as easy to do, to basically have the worst season you've had in history to turn around and have some decent success.
But the question is, why aren't they wanting to stay here? And it's got to be the facilities. We do not have Division I facilities. No, you don't. You think NIL? If we have, you take the locker rooms you see at like Texas and those. I'm talking about $1 million like facilities. You go at Fresno State and you're from this area and you see those type of facilities. I don't think you're worried about NIL because you're playing in such a nice. Everything's nice. Everything's upgraded. It's big league.
And I guess if you ask the question, I
get to live at home and drive here and be in this nice facility and play. And you don't think the fans are going to show up for that when everybody's staying here?
When or what was the last major upgrade that Fresno State made to
the barn
facility?
The barn.
Yeah, probably.
The
softball and baseball barn.
Save Mart Center?
No, well.
Oh, geez.
I'm just saying.
I think tear that bitch down. I miss selling arena.
Yeah.
When's football's last major upgrade?
The turf that they did twice in 10 years and 7 years. That's it. The turf. Oh, they redid the locker room 2 years ago.
But when's the last time they built something new for any pro? When's the last?
Well, they don't have any money. How are they going to build anything? They're surviving. That's all they're trying to do right now. This is why we're not changing anything in basketball. We got to get rid of the coach. We have no money to get rid of a coach. So we're.
That's an arena I know nothing about. I don't know whether.
Yeah, well,
I don't know
basketball.
Saying
it's a with this whole NIL transfer portal deal. When 5 leave, you hope 5 good come in, and then we'll see. And Fresno State's got a lot of issues. After football season, it just goes. Whew.
I don't know. When I was at Fresno City and we were at West Hills, and I remember that job might come open. Me and Coach Scott were having a conversation, and he said if a job like this ever opened and you were to get the job, what would be one of the first things you do to this? And I said I would try to raise as much money as I can to make the field as nice as possible, the cages as nice as possible, the dugouts. I want the kids to come here and think, wow, this is where I get to play every day. And he's like, that's probably one of the most correct answers you could do. You want your players to want to come to the yard every day, to want to use the facilities every day. And I think if you have kids that want to do that, the money, the NIL stuff, the transfer portal, I don't think any of that would matter. I think you see a lot of the transfer portal guys, they're going from big school to big school, or you know what I mean? You don't really see a lot of the small school to big school type things.
Or you're getting recruited through the portal, like you know where you're going.
Yeah, exactly.
Or you're not, or you end up nowhere.
Yeah.
Like, did you see Sark's talking about it with Texas?
No. Oh, Sarkisian?
Yeah. If you leave Texas, once you enter the portal, there's no coming back. You don't find a home,
and it should be like
you're
that.
out. So we have a very upfront conversation about this. If you're choosing to not be a Longhorn, you are done. There is no turning around and you know what? I have a change. No, there is no change of heart.
I totally agree with that
too.
Me too. If you want to leave me, get out. You're not coming back. So once that door's shut, you're done. Goodbye and get out.
Yeah.
And that coach, I couldn't find a home. Well.
And listen,
you had one.
We want.
You just didn't want to work hard to try to win a spot.
Yeah, go with another coach and be a pain in the ass, because that's what's happening.
But I mean, we all want the best for the dogs. We all want nice things. It's
100%.
Just, it's cool to look at nice stuff. I don't know how we're gonna achieve that amount of money. I just don't.
I don't either. And
how long is it gonna take to do it?
Now, does anyone on the Fresno State bunch in this transfer portal, do they leave? Does anybody come in? Does LSU come in and take one of our stars away with this NIL? In your mind,
I don't know.
Does Murph
Well,
leave?
and so that's
Murph won't leave.
No, Murph's a loyal. But,
Murph had an opportunity to not go to Fresno State,
Yeah.
and he just like he had an opportunity not to stay at Madera South.
Yeah.
You know how many schools are probably contacting him to come over and be a
But
part
is
of
that something you take into consideration, even with the decision on Ovi? Like, wait a second, if he's not the guy, do we risk losing guys?
And that, yes.
Do we risk guys
That's a
that
good
committed?
question. That's a better
not
question.
coming now. Do we hurt the recruiting class? Do we go backwards?
Yes.
Essentially.
And I think you do.
I
By
do
not
too.
keeping Ovi, you lose Munster, you lose Schneider, you lose the recruits, you probably lose Gray.
People are going to come after him.
Yes.
It always depends who the next coach is. You could say that now, but if you bring in Mike Piazza or something, and all of a sudden,
But can you afford
I gotta-
him? Can you afford it?
No,
And
we
that's what
can't
I'm saying, you
afford
can't.
anybody. We can't afford it unless they do it for free. Unless Bobby Jones said, "I'll do it for free."
And I didn't
Somebody
mean,
like-
and I wasn't trying to say
they're
an
not
upgrade
coming.
from Ovi. Like, I wasn't trying to be insulting.
No, it's just somebody at a big school that's making six figures to $500,000.
Yes. They don't
have
Are
that
they going to
kind of
come
money.
take that much of a pay cut to be the head coach of Fresno State?
Zero
and that's
chance.
just with the revenue that we bring in. Fresno State can't afford that. We're not saying that they're better than Ovi or anything like
The
that.
LSU
It's
pitching
just the
coach
way it is.
not leaving LSU.
No.
No, not at all.
He makes $500,000 to $1 million.
I mean, there's
being
no
a pitching
SEC
coach.
assistant coach probably
That's
leaving.
big time baseball. You've said what's the biggest crowd we had this year for Fresno
I mean,
State?
when I went, it
4,000?
was almost 4,000 when I went.
And one special time. And then the next
And
night,
it's
what
been
was it?
it's been just over 2,000 roughly
So
consistently.
they're averaging 2,000 people. That's great.
It is.
They haven't had that in 10
No,
years.
they haven't. They haven't. It's been
So
good.
if they can average two, I'm excited for Fresno State baseball.
And
That
the
is
future's
great.
bright. There is some good recruiting class. We hope they're
Now, is there
turn out to
social
be.
media? Are they doing a good job marketing it?
I think so.
Okay,
yeah.
they're better, but again, as
They
long
had to keep up with us.
yeah, well, if it wasn't for you guys, they would have nothing because we all know the Fresno Bee died. No one gets the Fresno Bee anymore. And when Fresno Bee died, same with Fresno State sports. The Red Wave just died because you'd get up every day and you'd read,
Well, the box
Murph
scores.
Gray,
I remember
look at
I missed the
Murph.
box
in high
scores.
school, that was one of my favorite things on
But
Saturday.
you know all about the players. Now the Fresno Bee, it's everything.
Well, that
everything's done in
was
Sacramento.
essentially your Twitter. That's how you talk shit. I'd go in the box
Yeah.
scores and I'd see what so and so did from Clovis and Buchanan, and you saw the numbers and you saw who did what. And
Well, even that was cool for me being at Oral Roberts that my stats were in there after every weekend for all the hometown people to see the players that were gone. Even
So that's another question. So if you're at Fresno State and we have no local paper whatsoever, but we have HIT.OR.DIE. You're the only guys left that's marketing Fresno State sports. Believe it or not, you can't go local news because no one's watching local sports anymore. Sorry.
well, that's the
dead.
thing. There's
But I'm
there's
just saying,
you, there's us, there's
but
Beware.
but it's still-
We've done it on Watch Your
Okay,
Lips. There's
but LSU
Juice.
probably has their own newspaper.
Oh yeah,
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That is a religion back there. Here it's, well, I don't know. I'm going to go home and play video games.
They're
You want to
invested-
go to the game tonight? No, I don't want to. So it's not a religion here. Will it ever be? Probably not. But I think 2,000 people averaging a game is great.
From what it's been,
I mean, it used to be 200 people. I'd go to a Sunday game and I can have a gun and shoot it 6 times and not hit anybody. Okay? And not worried about hitting anybody. It was sad.
they're not going to allow you in any games now.
Yeah, I'd sit in the front row and go, I just got a front row
You're going to be
seat.
the only guy that gets frisked as walking into a game now.
2,000 people is averaging is great because all the local guys that are coming here, we should pack it out.
And I think you give this coaching staff an opportunity to set its footprint. Get Coach Buckley and Price and Carey. Like, let these guys get it going. I don't know if Jack will come back as a volunteer, but I'm just saying, let them all kind of mesh. They kind of got thrown into this.
Now, as a player, you have so many options now. Before the old days, it looked like Fresno State or Fresno City.
You kick back, yeah.
That was it. No, now you can go anywhere. All the JUCOs around here. Fresno Pacific is here. There is a lot of options here if you're a player.
Well,
so you
know
gotta
who's
recruit now.
You know what
recruit your
teams
butt
are
off.
guys are leaving, and you can. Well, that guy's in my spot, and they're losing 4 or 5, 6 seniors. As a sophomore, junior, I could go there, have a better chance to play right away instead of
knowing.
It's
The old days, if you went to city, you were 3 deep at every position. The all stars. Now you don't have to do that anymore. I'm not going to be 2, 3 deep. I'm going to go to Reedley. I'm going to go to COS. I'm going to go to West Hills. Somewhere to play.
I mean, our redshirt squad, my 04 season, could have beat could have won the CBC.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that with any disrespect. If you knew who our redshirt squad was, that's the truth. And we had 50 plus.
Now, what'd you all stay there for? Because Reedley was.
No, we all stayed there because we wanted to win.
Like City, well, I'm not saying City. City's obviously always been Fresno City. They've always been kind of the elite JUCO in the area.
Yeah.
I remember going then to support like Woody, Gary Moran, the Madera guys that ended up there. We would go watch. I mean, it was insane. It was.
But the thing is, none of those players would be there now. They would all be at Division I schools.
Yeah. I mean, that's you could say that. You could argue that. I mean, they were like you talk about the area of players, the track. If you were not at a D1 already, you were at City.
Yeah,
that's where you went. I mean, you've been around long enough. You remember those days.
I played at City.
I just the conversation revolving around Ovi is personally, I think there's again, if you're going to give somebody a 2-3 year option to try to build something, why not? It's already there. Give Ovi that 2-3 year deal and let's see what they do. And at that point, if it's time to move on, then we move on.
Yeah, I think you got to give him a chance, especially with him reaching out to alumni, the players reaching out to their own. They have their own mentor alumni player that they can talk to whenever they want. And he's bringing all the alumni back that, the Bennett era lost with Batesall. And now Ovi's trying to bring that back and make it one. It was always two types of Fresno State Bulldogs. There's the Bennett Biden and it was the Batesall. Now, in the last couple of years that they've been gradually going together. And I think now that Batesall's gone and Ovi is, even though a part of Batesall, he's been doing it so well of bringing everybody together at one. And
that's huge, by the way.
Yes, and he's having a lot of alumni weekends. And I think that's why we do have a lot of fans coming in too, because they see that. They see he's trying to do that, even though Batesall did, but he did it in his own way. It was his way or no way, and you have to respect that because he was successful at it, and he did a great job while he was here. And now Ovi's coming in, and he wants everybody to be a dog.
And some of that was to no fault of Coach Batesall's.
No,
you know what I mean? Like,
he got
when
that
he got
right
the
when
job,
he walked in the door.
Like people just weren't happy,
exactly,
for whatever reason.
Well, they wanted Rupsich. Let's be honest. Everybody wanted Rupsich.
And so it kind of trended that.
So even if it Batesall, even if it was Joe Schmo that got the job, they were going to be treated the same way.
It could have been anybody, not
exactly.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I just think Ovi, we haven't talked about this and we haven't been doing this in a couple weeks. And I've seen these conversations take place on Twitter, and it's just like, dude, stop.
No, you have to give him a chance. He's brand new. He's never been a head coach. Unless Aaron Judge is available, there's no one else out there. So you're going to go get an assistant coach at Mississippi State who no one even knows about? It's not going to happen.
You can't afford it.
No, even if this is what we're always known for. We get a guy to come here, and then it's a stepping stone job, and then he's gone.
Yeah. Here's a guy that wants to be here for the rest of his career.
That's what we want. That's how you build a program.
Yes.
So in any sport like that, that's what happens.
He's a dog, and he wants to be a dog.
Just give him a shot, and he's on fire right now. Maybe he pulls out something.
They're playing well, and they're playing well at the right time. They're pitching well at the right time. I'm excited. Again.
And you got to understand, what about the stress and pressure he's under? He's the interim, which I fucking hate. He's dealing with this. He's, when he's got to know, when do I talk to Toomey? When do I figure out what's going on? What are they going to do? And then I got to win, and then I got to put the line. Dude, he's probably dealing with so much shit too on the side.
Toomey has so much more to worry about than baseball right now. Baseball's winning right now. He's got to try to figure out how to get money in the budget.
That was the other thing. Go look at the conference and see. Go look at the records. I think Fresno State. Yeah, let's see. Fresno State and New Mexico are the only teams above 500
overall
in the conference.
Good league right there.
I mean that's where I'm at, is like, why are we waiting? Why couldn't we just?
San Jose State's right at 500. So the dogs are 27-24.
How much better is Fresno State right now than in February?
A lot better.
Exactly. So it's how you finish.
Listen,
how many times have you heard that? It's how you finish, not how you start.
And they've done it without Jake Dixon. And I think that's another arm that could have helped them down the stretch.
I think they'll be fine. They'll get through. They'll get in the tournament. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's all you want. Just make the tournament. So I just wanted to bring that conversation up because I'd seen it happen on social media. And again, we back Ovi. Again, get out there, support this last weekend against St. Mary's.
Well, let me just tell you, Hit.OR.DIE podcast is the only one who's involved with Fresno State baseball. That's it. No one's listening. I'm sorry. Fox Sports, but no one's listening on the radio to baseball. So
I actually do.
Okay, well, you're
And
one of the few.
C-Dub,
Leffler is amazing.
I'm just saying he's fantastic, but no one's listening.
Yeah, I don't know.
Nobody listens to radio.
It's a complete disaster. You hear radio going, 98% of people listening to radio. No, kids 25 and under do not listen to radio.
No, they're all grandparents.
They're all on their phone. Well, listening to iTunes.
Do you think the CW? I can tell you right now, I know a lot of people that have been watching these games.
Yes.
My dad watches every weekend at home.
And you know me, I've been talking about TV for a while.
And if we don't go, I've watched every Dogs game on the
TV's light years better than radio.
Yes.
And it's been good. Like I think it was Paul had Brian Marsubian in there the other day, and they brought
he had a bunch
Todd
of
Johnson
alumni.
comes in.
He had a bunch of alumni.
Dude, it was a great broadcast, and I even told him that.
If Brian's listening, get in there and get involved.
Well, and you got to get him on Hit.OR.DIE too.
Scared
by the way,
sometimes to be he doesn't talk a lot. Brian, get in there. Do the Brian Marsubian. I like to listen to him.
Well, he knows the game,
but he doesn't want, because I know Paul's does it all. Sometimes I want to hear a color broadcaster and the play-by-play.
Yeah,
they got to be like this.
No, there was a couple
like this, and then
there was a couple breakdown parts in there, and he's like, he nailed it. And I was like, he knows baseball.
Oh, he knows his baseball.
Yeah,
really.
We need to get another guy we've not had on here, but
he's my third baseman. He's my all-league third base coach for the Buchanan Bears, Brian Marsubian.
Legendary third base coach. Let's just continue on the road of stuff going on. Chad mentioned earlier, high school playoffs are beginning this week.
Is it a playoff?
I guess
I call it a postseason tournament.
We talked about it on Twitter Spaces over the weekend. We'll be recapping every round on Twitter Spaces in the evening. So Wednesday night.
We'll do a Wednesday night.
And probably Friday. We'll try to
8 o'clock or so after the games are over.
We can stay awake.
I'll be in bed.
The brackets came out Saturday at the late hour of nearly 5 p.m. Have you ever seen that in your 25 years?
Cornhole. They had to do cornhole. They played bridge, and then they had to eat lunch, and then they got going. They could have done this Friday night. It could have been over. It could have been done with. I don't understand why it takes so long. Jim Critchlow used to rag on him. It was done by 1 o'clock. He'd get in there early in the morning, it'd be done by 1. But now I don't understand why it takes so long.
I guess it takes longer to fuck shit up.
Well, and that's the thing. They had criteria they had already preset.
There was a lot of deals that happened in this one. Let me just tell you.
So
deals were made.
If you listen to Twitter Spaces, you might hear a lot of the same things, same talking points. If you didn't, this will be new for you.
That was a good show, by the way.
Yeah, it was.
Wish we would have had Chad on.
And we'll get Chad's today.
I tried getting on, and then the people talking were just too much for me. I had to get out.
First off, Chad, since you didn't talk about it, or do you want to start, Pags?
Are we going to start with the big guys or start?
Just in general, yeah.
I think it was, again, if you decided that let's pick the worst playoff format you can possibly do, we have done that. There's nothing worse than what we're doing now. Let's bring in the overachievers, bring them up to the big boys, or bring the underachievers down to the little boys, and we'll have a playoff. Who does that? This would be like the Green Bay Packers having an off year. Okay, since they're having an off year, we're going to move them to Mountain West. But Fresno State's doing pretty good. We're going to move them up to the National West. You're going to have to play the Lions and the Vikings because you're having a good year. Who does that? Why do we even have base divisions if we're going to do this? So it's ridiculous. I've been on this for 3 years, and it's only getting worse.
So I heard the commissioner talk about last week that he actually wasn't a fan of the up and down, nor the base division, or not knowing your predetermined division prior to the season, which I think we all agreed with. We all want to know what division we're playing in, and if you're having a bad year, you don't get to go down. And if you're not, you don't go up either. It's just kind of like how we used to do it. I'd almost prefer that, and then maybe even throwing a bye if somebody doesn't qualify to make the playoffs.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that either. That's why this is not a playoff. We call it's a postseason tournament. But it is.
Yeah,
it's not a playoff. Because if you decide to go on, can you imagine back in the day, Coach, we're not going to play, or we're going to go. What if we lose the last 5? It doesn't matter. Actually, it benefits you if you start. I tell all the small teams, do not go 12-0 to start the year. You are screwed. Go 6-6, play your JVs, lose some games on purpose. and then get in the playoffs. You'll see if you're a Division V base team, that's where you'll be. Instead, if you're, I said it the other day on the show, if you're Fireball and they go 18-1, you're going to be in Division IV, a 5 base team. You'll be in Division IV, and you're going to have to play a D3 team coming down to kick your butt because they have a better pitching staff. Maybe have more. I'm not saying they will win, but they maybe have more horses. And what is that? What does that tell you? The small schools, they have no chance to ever win this again. It's just going to be the big schools going down, 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 down until they win.
Well, I did Gabe's show. He was going to actually join us today, but he's doing the honor flight today. So safe travels to him. But he asked me a question, and I was talking to Chad prior to this. Like, he was asking me what the difference between Division I and II is. And in years past, you could probably answer that. And now I'm not so sure there is a difference.
This is the first year where it's pretty even from D1 and D2. This is the first time I've ever seen where there's really not a dominant team in D1. Could you say that for 20 years? There's always been one or two teams.
Well, Chad, go ahead, because you weren't there Saturday, and we haven't got your take at all on this.
So I think that why do you come out with a base division if you're not going to keep it that way?
Do you want that one?
It makes no sense to me to have a base and then you have like 6 of the base teams that are in Division II and 6 division. Like it makes no sense. They flip flop. I also feel like I posted on your Instagram that some of these teams should be embarrassed, and then a mom said why and all this kind of stuff, and I said, well, teams should be embarrassed because, and they were saying something about it's not their fault, it's the CIF's fault. Well, no, it's the team's fault for this as well, because don't get me wrong, as the CIF is going to get all the credit for this, with the teams not opting out of the playoffs and still playing when they know they shouldn't be Division II teams, or even the Division II teams that are Division I that know they probably don't have a shot doing it, some of those teams should probably sit out, because once these teams sit out, the CIF won't make any money, and there's going to be a change. But if these teams keep playing and keep going along with it, we can bitch and complain all we want, but if we don't stand up and make a change as coaches and teams, this will never change, because they're going to be like, oh, well, you guys all played anyways. So until teams start opting out and sitting out of the playoffs and saying, no, we don't deserve to be in the playoffs, this isn't going to change. So that's where I come with some of these teams need to be embarrassed. You're a Division I team. You shouldn't be proud to go down Division II and try to win a section title. You shouldn't be proud of that. The track.
Well, you can't. Everybody would say the track is the elite of the divisions.
It's not
the leagues in the area, and it's still one of the better leagues. But it's not. You can't talk about it like you used to. You just can't.
Bakersfield's giving them a run for their money lately.
The West Yosemite League's got 3 teams in Division I.
Yeah. And that's the other thing. El Diamante is a 12 seed. They win 21 games, whatever they did, and they get a 12 seed and not a home game.
Yeah. Division I.
So they're like, what's the?
Well, and that's
what are we doing here?
That's
what you said about Fresno High.
That's my beef with Fresno High.
But if El Diamante would have won 15 games, they're probably in D2 right now. So they overachieved again, and they have to go up and get.
So we're saying winning's not good.
If you win, you actually lose.
Yes.
If you lose, you actually win.
And we're rewarding losing.
Yeah, exactly, and that's just why I don't like this format.
You know, Fresno High wins their league. They don't get to pick who's in their league.
They're a 9 seed.
The best they could do is a 9 seed in Division II winning their league. Yet if you go look, I think it's the Division IV bracket with Hoover and Madera South, who finished 2nd and 3rd in the same league, are 4 or 5 seeds with home games. So the winner of the league has to go on the road, and they're playing Highland, who finished 3rd in their league, which is a good league, by the way. And Highland's a good team. I'm just saying a league champion should get a home game.
Can we start? How the hell is Hanford in D1 and Clovis East is in D2? This should have been handled right when it came out. Oh my, we again made a blunder. Clovis East, who beat Centennial, Rigetti, and Clovis West, is in D2, and Hanford won 15 games and is in D1. Flip-flop them right now before it happens.
Well, I think Hanford finished 3rd in that league as well.
It's just that right then.
So third place is that the West Yosemite League is as good as 4th place in the track. So then the track is not as good as we've been saying it is. When the West Yosemite League is as good, because they got that D1 spot over a track team, you can't put the track up here anymore.
Bottom line, yeah.
They shouldn't be, though. Kerman shouldn't be in Division I.
2. Hanford? You're talking about Hanford?
Yeah, Hanford. Clovis East should be there.
Yeah.
This should be the Division I playoffs. Buchanan, Bullard, Centennial, Central, Clovis, Clovis East, Clovis North, Clovis West, Frontier, Liberty, Rigetti, San Joaquin Morrow, San Luis Obispo, and Stockdale.
And out of those teams,
that's the
11,
base.
out of those teams, 11 qualify. The other ones go home, have a pizza. You're done for the year.
And even Jake did the 50% rule, which I think should be. Yeah. Only 9 teams would qualify.
Okay. So then some teams are going to have a bye. And that is the big boy division.
And what's wrong with having 9 playoff teams
now, if Redwood,
that earned it?
If Redwood and Tulare Western and El Diamante want to move up, it's up to them. Say, Mr. Redwood, do you want to move up? Yes or no?
Yeah, we have this many spaces if you want.
If you want to play up, it's up to you. We're not going to tell you to do it. Well, I don't understand.
But what team would?
Well, Bakersfield Christian basketball, boys basketball, Chad Brown did it, and he moved up. He wanted to play the big boys. He moved up in D1. I love that.
Yeah, shout out there.
One of the very few that moved up. The rest, they don't.
The other thing, and going back to Fresno High, is, again, a league champion does. And I know Pappy and I are friends, and people are going to, but you guys are buddies. Well, we are buddies. It wouldn't matter.
Still the best coach in the Valley.
If it was any team, I would be sticking up for any team that had the same situation.
I had them seeded 6. They should have been a 6 seed in D2.
So, you can say whatever you want as far as, us being buddies. Basically, what I said Saturday, I'll say it again here. All these games don't matter. Like, if I'm getting told by everybody, they're never not going to take everybody. It's never going to happen. CIF is always going to let all these teams go in no matter what.
5 years ago we did.
So then let's stop playing 28 games. Let's play a week less. Let's play 25. Let's add a week to our postseason and do 2 loss. Because these games don't matter. The season doesn't matter.
It really does.
Because everybody can go. You could go, you have to have 300%, whatever that is. You can win 9 games. You go 9 and 19.
Congratulations for sucking.
Look at Division 6, how many teams there are, and they have no chance of ever winning.
I think it's 34 teams in Division 6.
34 teams have no chance.
That? Yeah, so I did the math. 34 teams, 26 wouldn't qualify. 8 teams in Division 6 could play for 500%.
And what's wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with that.
Why should everybody be allowed to go to the playoffs?
That's why it's not a playoff.
But here's the thing: if you added a week to the postseason, you did a double loss. Because I keep hearing money. Well, it's because of money. If you added another week in double elimination, you'd make up the money that you had with more teams. You know what I'm saying? You'd still have that money with a 2-loss tournament with teams that belong.
We have to change something up because this is.
But I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to get a seat at the table.
I also mentioned, okay, you want to get rid of all the preseason games because they don't mean anything. Maybe do the Coke Classic.
I'm saying whatever. You can
do
find
the Coke
games
Classic
to get rid of anywhere.
And the Easter Classic. Maybe those are the only 2 that you still do just because they're a part of
Central
the
has theirs.
Everyone has their little tournaments.
Well, do those
CBC,
one. But then make the conference better. Play your conference games and then have a conference tournament. Then you're playing more games within your conference against teams that are more like you in the rankings. And win more games that way.
There's a lot of creative things that could be done.
Have a Division I league right there. All those 14 teams right there.
I mean, the travel's not that bad.
Well, and so I don't have I'll post this on the video, but Chad, we were just like, okay, just like we used to. There's 25 teams in D3. The best 16 make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Sorry. There's 25 teams in Division 4. The best 16 make the playoffs. There's 22 in Division 5. The best 16 make the playoffs. Or we use the winning percentage to help get rid of some of the teams.
That's the other thing. The Max Preps does not look at strength of schedule. They only look at wins. They only care about really wins. Because if
why are we using Max Preps? They have nothing to do with our area.
I think we need a committee. People like this have a round room, bringing in.
Me and Jake said we would be more than happy to be a part of this rankings and stuff since we don't coach anymore. You guys, if you've heard me talk, I'm not biased. I could care less about any of the schools.
And I'm well hated, so I would be on the list.
Yeah, you're two Bullard guys. Yeah,
but Bullard hates me most of the time. So
you just hosted their dinner. Huh? You just hosted their Hall of Fame dinner that you're not in.
No,
you're not in it.
Yeah, but year to year, I could be loved or hated. Okay, just
I'm
a
right
bit.
there with you, but I think I'm hated every year.
Yeah, so I'm just saying we need a committee like this because listen, the people that do this postseason deal they're all athletic directors. An athletic director's job is to make my school look good. And whatever that is,
But they make themselves look stupid.
if I'm at a giant school and I vote for this because if we have a bad year, I can go down and kick some butt. But if I'm a small school, I'm sure they voted no.
Well, I can tell you right now, if I'm on the, I don't want to see Central, North, or East win, because if they win, it's gonna be a shitstorm. There's a 10, 11, and 13 seed or 14 seed.
Oh, guaranteed. You're going to watch a lot of high seeds win some. It's been happening.
I want to see those conversations take place.
Basketball,
after that.
we had a 16 play a 14 for a championship.
I mean, you almost
what
had.
does that tell you?
Like if you did the 500 rule, you'd have 4 track teams not in the playoffs.
But so if I'm let's say
What's wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with that.
Exactly.
What I'm saying is you can't talk about how elite.
Well,
the
you're just
league
going to hurt
is.
feelings. You're going to hurt feelings.
That's fine.
So, okay, well, so let's say,
the
for
truth
example,
is the truth, Chad.
I'm with you.
No, I'm not. The truth is the truth.
But we're trying to accommodate this soft, unaccountable generation that we're in.
So what
right
is
now.
that? So I'm going to just do the other side. Reverse here. Let's say you're Memorial. We all know Memorial's down in baseball. It's whatever the case.
Depends on who you talk to.
Okay, well, they're down. Okay. Do you say, okay, we're going to be down next year. Let's dummy up the schedule so we can win some games before we get to the CMAC? Do teams start to do that?
Possibly.
To get in there and win some easy games?
I mean, honestly, like,
I'm not
I
saying
talked to
Memorial,
Underwood,
I'm
and
just letting you know.
Underwood's like, we hurt ourselves doing really good at the beginning of the year, and that shouldn't be a thing for them. They should be a good 1 or 2 seed in Division II.
I agree.
And have
imagine
a
how
chance.
good-
Because now we're taking a really good opportunity. If you really care about the player and the student athlete, we are taking their opportunity away to have a successful year for their school in the correct division they should be in.
My idea is you have D1, you're done. You're over there. You got your 14 teams, and you said 9 qualify.
Yeah.
You're done. Division II, can you imagine?
How many qualify? He's got it right there.
In base Division II, you have 8 teams that
8
qualify.
teams. Now, you could ask Bakersfield Christian, Kingsburg, whoever else wants to come in.
Cabrillo was the
Maybe
3
Cabrillo,
seed.
maybe a Tascadero.
Lamore, maybe.
Maybe they come and say, hey, do you want to play D2? It's your
Highland.
call. And if they want to, yes, they come into D2.
You structure the bracket around
There you
how many
go.
teams you got.
Exactly.
Not
But-
everybody has to have 16 teams.
But we all know Bakersfield Christian would be the heavy favorites, probably along with Kingsburg, maybe Fowler.
they're going to be the favorite in D2.
Maybe in D1.
I mean, they could.
But I would ask them if they want to be in D2 for this year. And we got a pretty good team. Yeah, let's challenge it. Give them the opportunity, but don't bring teams down because they're having a bad year.
And listen, we shit on the ADs and the CIF all that night. Listen, they're up against it because everybody is represented here. And so everybody's trying to do what's best for them and their schools. And I understand.
But as an athletic director at Clovis North, Clovis East, and Central, is it in our best interest to go down to Division II?
No. Well, again, if you're going to talk the way you talk, no.
The standard CUSD
You can't talk like that anymore.
is winning.
It's not. It's not.
Yeah.
I mean, you got a lot of young players carrying some of these programs too in the track.
So what's wrong with being like, hey, we're not going to the playoffs. We're young. We had a tough year. Let's rebound and let's get hungry for next year.
So are they afraid that parents go, well, we're not even in the playoffs. We're transferring out of here.
Who cares?
Well, that's probably what they're thinking. We got to get in the playoffs or these parents are upset.
But Clovis North has been losing transfers anyways. Same with Clovis. All the schools lose transfers anyways. So what's the difference? I mean, you're just going to get transfers of guys that don't want to be there. Do you really want to play with guys that don't want to be there?
Here's my idea, Mr. CIF, if you're listening. This is what you do. You have a committee with every sport. And I don't care what it is, every sport. And we sit down in a room like this and we come up with what we want as that baseball, softball, badminton, volleyball committee. And we hand you what we come up with. And then you go out and make all the money you want. You want to do the GoFan on there?
Yeah,
and
go
get your
take
tickets?
credit for it.
But you should have nothing to do with this because you don't go to games. You don't know anything about this, where they should be. Coaches do. The media maybe do, and we all sit together and we figure it out. If not, stay out of it because we're at the point now we don't need you anymore. Okay, you want to do the eligibility? Great. You want to say Roger Smith is eligible over here? Great. But the NCAA, we don't need them anymore, do we? They've just let it go. The importable, the portal.
What do you go to the NFHS? Who would you try to apply to get
I think you can
to be
have
your
a
own sanctioning body.
You can have a committee for that. You can have athletic directors set a
I'm just saying,
committee.
could you go out and could you start up your own sanctioning body? Why do the CIF doesn't have? Why does it have to be the CIF?
I think
I say, hey, if you want to play in the HIT.OR.DIE postseason tournament and not the CIF Central Section tournament, you enter our and we sanction.
Money,
if I get the insurance,
I mean, you win in a section title. It's just a trophy with a name on it.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just thinking.
I'm just
nonsense.
saying, CIF, I'm not badging you. I am a little bit. We need a change. This is horrible, what we're doing right now. Right now, you're Tony Soprano. You go around and you collect money from every school. Hey, the tennis team, I need $500. You get all this money, and then you get all this playoff money. We got to do it. We got to bring back common sense.
And that's the other thing. Why are we paying them for playoff games?
They don't make money in the regular season gate?
And they give away free hats from Wilson. Whoever they donate the CIF championship hats. They're not paying for that.
I'm telling you, you don't always get them all.
Yeah.
I had to wait like 8 months.
Now, if they gave away the championship hats and you got the rings, and I see all the time we're having a GoFundMe to try to raise money for rings, I don't understand either.
I just want to be a part of this. What do we got to do to try to get?
I've asked before, Pagmeter. I am honored. I don't want to give a dime. I'll help you. Let me go to your meetings.
I just want to be a part of baseball.
See, not everybody hates me like they hate you or hate you.
Well, they're getting there.
True.
Just give them a little while, though. They'll hate you.
No. He's the nice guy.
Yeah, you're the nice guy. You're the
if you guys only knew what he really said.
You fucking guy.
We're just, listen, we have passion for what we do. Okay, and there's a lot of people out there.
Well, I just want it done right.
And a lot of people vent to us.
Yes.
Yeah. No, and this is the only show right now that you can hear this stuff. Believe it, you can't hear it anymore.
You think Bullard would want to play Hanford in the one, or do they want to have a 3-game series where their one would probably pitch in the Valley Championship? It would benefit them as well.
It's just
having a
not
9-team or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not fair for either one of them. Hanford should not be in D1 with that little. I'm sorry, they're just third-place team. Okay, I can see if they're 21-0 or something.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it, but they're not. So
it'll be
third.
It'll be interesting to see.
We've asked. You can. Why don't you try to get Ryan Toss on the show? Have you tried before?
No, I haven't actually. No,
Ryan,
I haven't.
I know you're listening because you.
Well, I mean, hearing again, I've heard things not from him directly, but obviously hearing him talk about not being a big fan of teams going up and down and wanting division set prior to the season starting. I think we're all in agreement there. And I've heard some stuff from other people regarding this situation. And I've heard that, it like you said, a lot of ADs are behind how this played out. Why and how, I don't know. Why they're doing the way they do it, I don't know.
The CIF didn't vote for this.
And last year's different. Like last year was worse. You know what I mean? They took 8 teams and they made it even worse.
Oh, and everything trickled down.
But now it's essentially the same with the same teams basically dropping down to Division 2. I just don't understand that. If you're not good enough to make the playoff in your base division, then your season's over.
I mean, enough said. I mean, that's the way it should be. Well, I know we live in a sissy life now, and it's getting worse and worse. But we gotta break the Band-Aid off sooner or later. We gotta get back. Every week, every game, someone's gonna win and someone's gonna lose. That's just how it is.
Would you want to see a 2-loss elimination tournament?
Yes, I've been saying that for 10 years. Double eliminate, or better, if that's the case, the championship 2 out of 3.
Well, my thing is why
Something.
do we? Let's not even take 16. That's what I'm saying. Let's take less teams. Let's make it harder to get in the playoffs. And take the absolute best teams
in each division
and do a 2-loss elimination tournament. You will not lose any money.
CIF,
you will make money.
CIF, you'll make more money doing that. Because I don't think, let's just say, for example,
nobody wants to go see the last team in Division 6 play this.
I mean, there's teams in Division. When I was looking today, there was a handful of teams in D6 that didn't even have seasons. They didn't even play games.
Now, Monache's going to travel to Sierra, okay, in baseball. How many people do you think are going to go there?
Don't know.
Someone's going to cost a lot of money to charter a bus. Monache's going to have to get a bus, go all the way up the hill. So why not have a double elimination and do it right? And the best team is going to win.
Well, you're going to travel regardless.
Yeah, I'm just saying the best team is going to win now. Usually the best team will win because, one game, one error in the 5th inning. Oh, he made an error. We lost 3-2.
And everybody's pretty much got a 1.
Yeah. What happens now? And I know most of the states. My old, I got guys who coach in North Carolina, South Carolina, high school. That they plan on that. That's what they do. It's all a double elimination. You said Southern Cal does it.
I think
And Northern.
Yeah, their Sac Joaquin section, I believe their championship's a best of 3.
Yeah, we're the only league in the United States that does it this way, by the way. It's why it's a postseason tournament. Everyone gets to go. You get a Frisbee, you get a Pop-Tart, you get maybe a dessert, and you go play.
Well, last year, in D1, they took 8 teams, and they ran it like they normally do it, single loss. And I'm thinking, if you end the season a little early, play less, just instead of 28, we played 25. And then you add that extra week to that postseason last year, you've got 2 weeks to run and there's your money. There's your gate.
You have a better chance of doing it that way. If I say it, they'll double it the other way. See, I go, no, Pag Meter wants involved. No, we don't want to do that.
I don't remember who was saying.
Well, then you need to start saying this is great.
Yeah.
They were just saying,
right.
This is the best format ever.
Yeah, you're right. I love this postseason tournament. I love how anybody can go. Just move them up and move the really good. I mean, the teams
The really good bad teams down.
Move them down. So, yeah, we don't need those small schools anymore. Hell with that.
I mean, looking at when I broke it up with 500 winning percentage, so D1 had 9 teams qualify at 500. D2 was 8. D3 was 12 teams. D4 was 20 out of the 25.
Okay, so
that were 500 or better. So then you just take 16.
So if you move some of them up in D2 from D3.
And you fill it?
Yeah, you fill it up that way. Here's another.
Yeah, but then all you're doing is putting more shitty teams, letting them go in. I mean,
Well, you're moving them up. You can't go down.
You can't go down.
Going down cannot be an option.
But it has to be up to you as a coach.
Yeah.
Or
just like Chad said, the 20, somebody figures out who's the best 16 of that 20.
Yeah.
Well, and sorry, 4 of you aren't going.
I mean, my buddy, Dos Palace, Leonard Davis, they had an absolute amazing year. They're getting punished going to D3.
Or like you said, Pags, you got 20 teams that qualify at a 500 record. You figured out who your top 20 are, and you asked the top 4, do you want to move up to D3 and fill up that bracket? And then we'll take the next 16, and you're done.
You don't want to do it?
And if not, then 4 teams are going home.
Out, yeah.
4 teams are going home.
Yeah, it's up to them because let's say Dos Palace is having a great year, but maybe 2 of his arms are down. But he's going to go to the playoffs, so we ask him, we go, I would do it, but I got A and B. They're not going to be able to pitch, no. Or, you know what? We are loaded. Yes, we want to give it a shot. So give them an opportunity.
Or they could be like, hey, look, I'm a base 4, and I'm really fucking good, and I want to win a section title in the base 4, and we deserve that. I'm not going up.
Well, because next year, you may be senior heavy.
Yeah, and you may be, or down. And this is your only opportunity to win a section championship.
In the following year, you lose 8 seniors. This is your year to win it. Like Kerman last year.
Yeah.
Kerman last year should have just been the D3
champion.
Now, Kerman, we love you to death, but there's no way you're getting a 2 seed. And I think because of last year, they got screwed so bad that CIF felt bad for them this year, so they gave him a number 2 seed. That's what I mean. I had them at a 5 seed, and they have a shot to play St. Joe's again if they beat Sanger.
Division 5, 11 teams out of 22 had 500 or better. And in D6, out of 34, had 8 teams.
How about
8 teams in Division 6?
But a lot of these teams
don't even have a team.
They didn't even play. Yeah, there was a couple teams in one division or one league that.
So why are they even on here?
Well,
there's teams missing.
We should just scratch them off.
I don't think Templeton was on here. There was a couple teams that weren't on here.
Here's what kills me because I know there's deals were made. Lee Viney and Lone Pine played less than 10 games this year.
Yeah, I think they played.
And they
7.
go, Coach, we are.
Well, I don't know what the rain did.
CIF, we had our landslide. We couldn't get our bus out. Okay, fine. You're going to be a 15 and 16 seed. We're going to get you in. Lindsay wins their league, the East Sierra League, and they have to go on the road. How fair is that? They played
just like Fresno High. That's what he's saying.
But
that's what I'm saying. If league championships don't matter, then none of these games matter.
And I'm sure Lee Viney's good.
Let's just cancel a couple. Let's take a couple games off, and let's extend the playoffs.
Bishop Union finished second in the High Desert League, and they have to go to D4. Rosamont wins the High Desert League.
I mean, with as much money,
D5 still.
CIF.
I don't understand. Little things like that. A committee can handle that.
Well, again, Hanford being the 16, and East being, but I mean, so
why wouldn't East be a 2 seed?
Was East even in consideration to be the 16? Because how do you go from being a possible 16 in D1 to the 10 in Division 2?
You know what? If I would have been the head coach, and Smitty, they didn't even ask you. I would have said, hey, listen, CIF, we want to be D1, put Hanford in D2, do the right thing, because that's ridiculous. Sorry. They should have flip-flopped Clovis East and Hanford. Clovis needs beat Clovis West 2 out of 3. They beat Rigetti. They beat Centennial. That's a good D1 team. They can beat you in any given day. Hanford should not be there.
I agree.
Where everybody was shocked. Is Fresno High going to be D1? And out of the blue, they put Hanford in. So, who did they piss off? That's what I want to know. Hanford pissed somebody off in that office.
I don't know.
We'll see. We'll see how it all plays out. We'll see. Again, there's going to be some fun divisions. There's some fun games. We kind of talked about it on Saturday on Twitter Spaces. I mean, Pags, do you have a game that you're kind of first round looking at?
Well, I'm kind of interested to see how Clovis West does in Bakersfield. Because Bakersfield, we all know Bakersfield. It's just a crazy place to play. If the wind's blowing out, sometimes the umpiring, we don't know. But Stockdale doesn't mind coming here. They like coming to
No, and it's a good ball club. I kind of agree. I think that's an interesting match. Listen, I know I said that if we were doing 500 rule, there'd be 4 track teams down the playoffs. Clovis West would have been one of them. They're 13 and 15 overall, but they're a much better team than 13 and 15. They didn't play consistent all the way through, and they've had their ups and downs, but Tyler Patrick's a good pitcher. That lineup is dangerous. That Tuesday night game against Clovis, they played really well, pulled out a win there. I mean, they can beat anybody.
All I know is
they're 13 and 15.
Right. I got you.
The reality is they're 13 and 15.
They had an underachieving year.
They did.
I really thought they're going to be way better. I really thought Clovis
I think everybody did.
Yeah. Well,
so they could still turn it around.
They thought they would have had a better.
Yeah, because they get a chance to.
Yeah, they get
which isn't fair to.
In the postseason tournament. Now,
I think
if the PAG meter was doing like I do for football and doing predictions, boy, every game it's not an easy one. There's no dominating teams like we used to say, oh, well, he's throwing the ace. Now, Stockdale, if they do throw their ace, going to have a, heavy favorite right there.
I don't think Bullard throws Schneider.
You don't think so?
No, because they almost lost to Madera. And Madera's got 2 good pitchers.
Oh, I think, but I'm sure Woody's going to go his guy.
But he's got 2.
Yeah, no.
We've seen them both pitch.
Madera's pitching's carried them through a lot of the season.
And Centennial's playing good baseball right now.
And they've got an arm, too. So, no, that's a good matchup, too. I'll be at that game.
El Diamante's got some good arms. Clovis has got
I kind of like the Clovis East St. Joe's matchup in Division 2.
Okay, it's good at Division 2. That's the game of the day right there.
You think so?
Yeah. I mean, that's the most questionable one that you look at. That's going to be a good one.
And, I mean, no offense to Highland. I want to see Fresno High win just because that just sucks. It sucks for them, for Fresno. And that's not the first time. That happened last year, too, where, they didn't get a fair deal, I don't think, in the playoffs.
And let's say if Fresno High wins, they got to get back on the bus on Friday and go play probably Bakersfield Christian. That's a long bus ride.
It's no easy road.
Yeah, that's no easy road. Tascadero gets to play Lompoc again. That's going to be interesting. Lemoore Mission Prep. Lemoore, they split this week again with Hanford. They with Hanford. Cabrillo, Clovis North is playing the track schedule, so they should be the favorite, right?
At a 14 seed.
Yeah,
that's what's wrong with it.
Cabrillo is just a little baby school.
Well, and Clovis North swept Central.
Yeah, I don't understand that. You beat somebody 3 times and you get a higher seed. Central gets a better seed. I mean, again, I would rather probably Ridgeview's playing good baseball right now. So do you want to play Cabrillo or Ridgeview? I think Clovis North, and it's a better weather down there.
I'll just be interested to see. I just don't. I'll be interested to see what people say if these track schools that are now in D2 win.
Central Ridgeview is going to be a good one.
Yeah, that'll be a good game.
Yeah.
There's going to be a few.
Sanger, Kerman, that's going to be an old-fashioned rivalry right now. 2 young teams getting after it. So I could see that, a 3-2 game.
I mean, playoff baseball is always fun baseball. I just think there's ways we could be more creative, better ways to do this. Again, I don't know what it takes to be heard or to get a seat at the table, and they could just tell us to go piss off at the end of the day anyway. That's fine. But to say you do these things for the kids in the best interest of the kids, prove it to me. We can't make decisions based on which stadium holds more people That's about money. That's not about the kids.
Yeah, I think Stockdale should have been the 2 seed, but Buchanan has a better stadium, so they got the 2 seed.
You know, we've had those debates for years now about why this one got a 2 and this one got a 3 or a 4, whatever. We've done that.
But that's great.
My honest opinion is
now moving teams up and down in divisions.
The money doesn't matter. Who cares? The money doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You don't take gate during the regular season. Well, then take some gate during the regular season. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. The decisions can't be based off dollars. Like, we got to do what's best for the players. What's fair.
I think what you're talking about is way better. Cutting the season a week early, and then having a double elimination tournament on based divisions.
Yeah, and then do 2 out of 3 for your championship, and you'll still be right on time for state playoffs.
I think it's in state playoff. I know softball. A lot of teams.
Pags, I even take it further. I mean, because I'm crazy. All right, but I was thinking, even if you have a problem picking who your top 8 are, if the 9's close to an 8, right, or the 10 seed, 9 and 10 are like, it's all neck and neck to being an 8. Then maybe you have 7 play 10, 8 play 9, and you a play-in game for your 7 and 8 seeds.
I agree.
So you take the top 10 and those 7, 8, 9, and 10.
If there's 2 teams close,
yeah. Let them do a play-in game, and here's now they win, and they've earned the top seeds for your 8. I don't know.
No, I like
That's probably taking it too far, but why not make it an option? Why not get creative and do something fun?
This is good baseball talk. I wonder how coaches will feel. If you're a coach, would you like a double elimination?
Yes, I've always wanted a double elimination.
Instead of having one game, one play, one error.
Trust me, in 2012, I wish we had a double elimination tournament. This is one of the 2015. It's 2 of the best teams I've ever gotten to coach. With some really, really good players. And we all know one game, any single thing can happen.
You think Tyler Ferguson and Clovis West would have liked to have that double elimination?
That's what he's saying in 12.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
He was on the staff.
That's one of the best teams I've ever seen.
One of the best teams I was very lucky to be a part of that.
I would put that, don't you think, in one of the top 10 maybe in Valley history?
Yeah, and maybe the best team to never win a championship.
Yeah.
Or to not win a championship.
Yeah. So I would love to maybe we'll do a PAG meter poll.
We
put
should.
it on Twitter and say.
I don't know. I still think these coaches need to hold their own standard accountable.
And I think upping the winning percentage will help. Like, there's things the CIF could do too. Like 300 is not high enough. Let's bring that up. If you want to, you don't want to do 5, make it 4.
Because now some coaches will be like, oh well, it's set at 300 and we did that.
Yeah.
So we're fine.
But 10 and 18 is not good.
No.
Well, for example, you got Garces, and they're not in the tournament. Okay.
No, they're not.
But they played a very tough.
They do
by far.
They do.
I mean, 3 times tougher schedule in D3 than anyone else.
Absolutely.
Okay, but they didn't go. They went 10 and 20 or whatever it is. But they had to play Centennial, Frontier, Stockdale.
Okay, but my pushback is have they made runs in the past?
Of course.
So maybe this just wasn't their year.
Well, maybe it wasn't their year. I'm just
part of the
saying
rebuild.
But if they're in now,
Madera went 10 and 18 last year.
Well, I'm just saying though,
and they went 18 and 10 this year in Division 1.
But with this stupid playoff format, if Garcia's got to go to D4 after playing Stockdale, Centennial, Liberty, you think they're going to be tough to beat then? Yeah. After playing a tough schedule like that? Because I love Dos Palos, but their schedule is light years different than Garcia's. Playing in the West Sierra League, winning 20 games is not like, because Garcia's beat, I think they beat Centennial and Liberty or even Frontier. I mean, those are good wins right there. They didn't want to go. The coach said, you know what, we didn't have a good year, we're done.
And good for him.
Yeah,
yes.
Good for him.
Yeah, I mean, it's something to prove, something to motivate your guys. Like I said, Madera goes 10 and 18, they don't go. And a year later, they're 18 and 10, and they're playing in Division 1. I think that's more of Andy's standard than 10 and 18. And there's nothing wrong with having a standard or expectations.
But just look at D2. How good would that be if they had a D2 playoff this year with all those great teams, with El Diamante, Tulare Western, Redwood?
Yeah.
That is a powerhouse.
It's stacked.
And then if you ask Bakersfield Christian to come in, hey, Kingsburg, you want to join the party? That'd
be fun.
With a double elimination.
It'd be fun.
You could pack Biden Field.
Yes, you would.
Yeah.
You would. And I think there's some cool stuff. I think people would want to see that. I also would like coaches to be like, what do coaches want? What do all these coaches want to do? Because at the end of the day, it's their teams. I think Chad's right. I think, if some of these programs aren't going to hold the standard higher, then maybe the CIF needs to force the standard.
I have most of my numbers on my phone. I'm going to start one by one. Just ask them yes or no. Would you like to have a double elimination? And then next time I'll give you and you can talk about
Or you, I mean, we've got CVHS Preps is a great platform. And it gets used for a lot of nonsense a lot of times. And it used to be really, it's a great platform. I always enjoyed it. And there's a lot of burner accounts and it's whatever, but it used to be a lot of fun and good. Like, use that platform.
Yeah.
Let's utilize the community, because that can go all the way to Bakersfield everywhere. I don't know. I would be interested to see what coaches want as far as the playoff system goes too. I think their voice should be heard more than anybody's.
I go on there about once a year, and every time it's
Pags ranks suck.
Pags sucks.
The ranking,
oh my God, he's not on the radio. You know why? Yeah, I know why.
At least they spell your name right.
Yeah, Chaz.
I like Chaz. That's pretty cool. You could be a guitarist too. Chaz.
No.
Join us this weekend. Chaz Hour.
Not guitar.
Baseball, playoff baseball is always fun baseball. It's going to be good baseball. You're going to see some exciting games. You're probably going to see some upsets. I don't consider any track team winning and where they are in Division II an upset. You can be mad at that.
I would just
That's
say
fine.
plan on high seeds gonna probably be playing in the championship at Rawhide.
Low seeds?
Low seeds. I'm sorry. Yeah, you'll see
Like 10 and below.
You'll see a 10 playing a 12.
I mean, listen, I know East record, and the track, part of it is they beat up on each other a little bit, right? They play each other so much.
But that's a good conference.
Yeah.
That means that conference was all together good. There wasn't one super. But then they should all beat up on each other in the playoffs too.
Yep.
If you're going to go, if you qualify to go, yeah.
I got to give a little
I
think
East is I don't think East is a bad team is what I'm saying.
No.
One of the best coaching jobs this year, Hoover.
Yeah.
Davy Jones,
14 wins.
I mean, the football has been a disaster over there. Just getting kids out for sports. And Davy is going to have a 4 seed. I mean, who is he going to? He's going to host Exeter. But you know what? I like to see Hoover coming back. So Davy, good job.
No, for sure. It's laughable to me that they finished, I think, 3rd in that league, and they get a home game, and Pappy's got to go drive to Bakersfield. I mean.
But Hoover going 11-3 in the NYL. That's pretty cool.
And I think I want to say it was 14 wins overall. They did have a good season.
Madera South pulled it out. They get to play D4, right? They're a 5 seed playing a hot Selma team. That'll be a good one.
At home.
Madera Ranchos is another, maybe the best kept, their sleeping giant.
Go look at their wins. They got some really quality.
They beat Clovis East.
They got some quality. They beat Highland too.
Yeah.
Centennial, I believe.
I would say, hey, Coach, do you want to play D3 this year? They might, because they might even play D2. That would be a heck of a D2 if you asked them. But they got to be the heavy favorite to be playing for the championship.
Yeah, I agree.
Arvin slides into number 2 seed. So, and what to do with Minarets? You know, they're really a D5 team. They're going to be playing D4. I mean, there's a lot of tweeners in here. Chad's like, I know nothing past D1. Yeah.
I'm lost with you down to the 4 and below.
Where's that school at, Chad?
Yeah. Minarets is up by the casino, right?
I'm just saying that's what Chad's thinking. Where's that one?
What's the mascot? Do you know what they are?
They're the Minarets.
They're purple, same as Fresno High.
Yeah, I know that because Garza's the coach.
Isn't it the Mustangs?
Yeah, good call.
That's what I was going to go with.
Yeah, Chad gave it to me.
Is there anybody? I mean, we got to give some love to that. Let's go to D5 real fast. Is there anyone in there that you guys even know about? That's
Fresno Christian.
Fresno Christian's playing good ball. Carruthers is on fire right now.
And Chavez is usually a pretty good. They've had a couple championships in the past.
Lee Viney.
McFarland's got a good cross country team.
Yeah, Lee Viney's 5-1, and they're going to travel to Rosamond.
So where's that?
It's over by Rosamond somewhere up there by when you kind of go past. People are looking.
And then I'll say this:
area. Keep going that way.
To see Coach Samarco make a run with McLean would be pretty cool. This is last year, right?
Fireball's on fire right now.
That's a good. Yeah, no,
I'm glad that Fireball got into D5. For most of the time, this computer. And by the way, the CIF you took some. You didn't go completely on the computer. They did some common sense ones. At other spots, they didn't. So they kind of. But Fireball and D2.
I mean, has there ever been a year though where somebody didn't get kind of screwed? And like some people weren't pissed.
But before
like it's happened even when we were in school.
Before it was always you got a home game maybe, but that was it. You got a home game over us, but we all knew you knew who to go scout.
But that's what I'm saying.
But now you don't know who to scout.
Well, but the regular season mattered because you had to win to get in the playoffs. So that's why I'm saying shorten these games don't matter because we can all go.
Exactly.
So let's shorten the season and let's have a more meaningful playoff tournament.
Well, it's even better to lose,
You
which
lose,
is the worst part.
You lose, you actually win.
So that's all. We've kind of, I know we're repeating ourselves, but and I don't know who agrees with it and who doesn't, but
no one likes this playoff, this postseason crap we got. Nobody likes it.
Then what is it going to take to change? If everybody's going to keep just going and playing.
Well, okay, so I brought this up on Spaces.
Like that, you know what I mean?
Well, somebody mentioned what you said. Somebody mentioned what you said, Chad, okay? I'm not going to name the school, but this person was like, the only way I could see it really, really changing is if come Saturday we end up in a division I don't feel we belong in, and come Monday I'm saying we're out. We're taking back we're not coming into the playoffs because we don't belong there, and we're going to boycott or we're just going to protest.
So you're saying, let's say, for example, Clovis North. You're saying that they don't belong in D2?
Let's say Clovis North got Division I.
They don't even belong in the playoffs.
It's true.
So what are you saying? I mean, what?
Sit out.
So
take your name out.
Let's say a team that's in D3.
Okay.
Who felt like there would have been a solid 5 or 6 in D3 gets like a 9 or 8 or 10 in Division 2.
Okay.
And they say, you know what? We're not playing division. We're not playing. You can tell us we're playing so-and-so on Wednesday. I'm going to tell you we're not showing up.
But I'll bet you they can't wait to play in D4. That same team going.
But you can't.
But that's it. They placed you in D3,
Okay.
and now I'm saying I'm not playing D3. We're not going to be at the game Wednesday. You better fix your bracket.
It's simple for me.
And if you had enough coaches say, you know what, this is wrong. We're not playing this D2. We're not Hanford. We're not a 16 in D1. Bullard's not. We're not going to be at Bullard on Wednesday.
For me, this is how I would do it. If I'm the commissioner,
I think if every school just said "fuck this,"
well, that's
and nobody shows up Wednesday, nobody wins the title, nobody does anything.
Good luck collecting your gate.
Good luck collecting money, and you know what? Go play your games on the side or something. Not even CIF.
That's how we're going to get rid of this transgender world. If the girls get to the starting gate and just not run, that's how that's going to stop.
I was wondering if you were going to bring that, throw that up.
Well, I had to throw it out there. By the way, he didn't run on Friday at Clovis East. So the runner who we talked about on Twitter did not show up in the I don't even know what it was.
Did it get talked about on Twitter? I don't remember.
Well, I brought it up.
Oh, you tweeted about it.
I tweeted
that's right.
out,
Yeah,
and so he didn't show up. And
that's probably a podcast.
No, but this is what I would do if I'm Ryan Toss, if I'm the CIF commissioner, I'd have every coach number and say, hey, have your phone ready because there's a chance we're going to call you when we do the seedings. And for example, Royal Grande, hi, this is Ryan Toss. We're thinking about moving you to D1 for the tournament. Would you want to go? No? Thank you. And if the teams that are going to move up one base division, they need to be asked. If they don't, they're not moving up.
Yeah, I mean, that's another way. Like I said, there's ways to do this.
Or
you're not
just keep
going
the
down.
base.
Yeah, you're not going
Your
down.
base here. This is where you're playing this year.
Thank you.
And if you didn't qualify, you're done.
And I brought it up, and of course CIF didn't like it because the Papagni brought it up. You base teams after the 30-day transfer rule. So after the transfer rule and Mike Trout's cousins show up and maybe the bad grades, you base them then.
Well, somebody said
no, I don't like it.
Somebody mentioned something on Spaces. I think it was Pat Ware said that there was transfers mid-season this year.
There's a kid from Clovis West who decided to full family move from Teague to Alluvial. I don't know how far that is, 3 minutes, and now he's starting at Buchanan. And so, and Clovis West and everyone, CIF all signed off on him. So he's now starting at Buchanan. He left Clovis West as a Buchanan.
But right
in mid-year.
But I mean, that's so the CIF
Tuesday
should put like
played at Clovis West, Fridays at Buchanan.
I asked you that because your idea to base teams after is there a limit to when you can transfer? Like you can't transfer after April 10th.
Like could he transfer now and play in the playoffs?
If they signed off on him, yes.
That's why. So the CIF says there's no transferring after March 30th or like a certain date.
There shouldn't be after day one.
True. Yeah, you start a school year somewhere, you finish that school.
Well,
year.
I totally agree. But it's not that. That's not the case.
No, it's not.
So what they should do is say, listen, there's no transferring beyond this date, and if you do, you're out for the season.
Or once your season of sport starts, there's no transferring.
Sure, I like that better.
Get ready for summer ball because you're not playing high school ball.
Good, fine, don't transfer.
Yeah. Don't transfer.
Yeah, don't
How about that idea?
Yeah. Yeah, I've already heard the rumors rumbling. I've already heard, oh my God, it's already making me frustrated. So we'll see if they become more than rumors at the end of the day. But
transfer before junior high.
So
that's when I think parents should make the decision. Make the decision in junior high.
Well, we're seeing it in college now. The new receiver from Fresno State who came from Boston College. I forget his name. He was at Ohio State.
Yeah.
Shouldn't it be a red flag if he transferred 3 times in high school, now 3 times in college? Do you really want him? Because he's not a committed guy.
I mean, it depends on what the story is. I mean,
yeah, well, apparently it's I want the ball or I'm going to leave. That's happening all over the place. All these transfers and kids, football-wise, it's crazy right now. Kids are moving everywhere. It's unbelievable. That's why it's hard to base a team. You don't know who's going to be on day one when football practice starts, who you're going to have. I mean, kids are transferring, and it's the new world we live in. So how do you base a team before the year starts?
No, I agree. I don't think that's a bad idea.
Or you base it off attendance for the school.
So what would you do with McLean?
I don't know. They have a big attendance?
Yeah.
Well, then you get to go lose wherever you go. I don't know. They used to be Division I when I was in high school.
They're D5 right now.
I mean,
they're Division.
I'm looking at all these schools that used to be Division I when I was in high school.
I think they're Division 5.
I think we only had like 3 divisions back then.
No, they're Division 4 right now. McLean is Division 4. That means they're going to play D5 this year. They've had a down year.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Like I said, it's going to be. There is some good games.
Great games.
I just would like to see, what can we do to get involved to help.
15th in Division 5.
We're asking. We would love to be part of your committee.
Not even a
the HIT.OR.DIE guys in the PAC meter show where do we need to go. We'll talk about baseball. I mean, I know I get all my emails from softball people, and they're not happy with this because this is a screwed up program. I get it from girls basketball,
or maybe
they're all like that.
Maybe there's a way to do this better. I don't know. Again, there's a lot of smart baseball people. James Patrick's one of them. George Chandler's one of them. There's a lot of smart guys.
Chad Thornhill's ex-coach. Like get those ex-coaches in there.
And you get 2 or 3 guys from Bakersfield, 2 or 3 from the Central Coast.
Yeah.
You get a couple from the High Desert League. Come on down. We'll meet in Bakersfield or something.
Or you have a different committee for Division I. Have a committee. Division II have.
You could do that too.
I mean, that might be easier. So then that they stay in their areas and they're not all going one way.
Yeah, they're not having to watch.
Because I mean, we talk about Division to Division 5. I'll be like, oh.
Yeah.
The base looks good to me.
Tell me about Riverdale Christian.
sounds good.
See, that's what
sounds
I'm
like they pray a lot.
Yeah. There's a lot of teams in Division 6, and I'm sure we're going to get more and more as the years go. Salinas Valley is going to be
all these new
soon.
schools. Yeah. Sanger West is going to be a new school soon.
Yeah, they're already in.
Oh, they
are. By the way,
they are.
Sanger West. I got to give you a little Division 6. I mean, they won the NYL this year for softball. The Sanger West Hornets.
And they're in Division 6?
They got a 16 seed in Division 3.
What's funny is you go on Max Preps, and it'll be Sanger West in Fresno, California. Yeah, I'm telling you, it's true. Yeah. Pags, we'll see how this goes. We'll see how it all plays out, shakes out. Before we go, your intentions are to fire up a podcast. What's the name? When do you think possibly we can expect to hear you back? A lot of people want to know when you're coming back to the airwaves.
It's coming. I'm thinking we're going to do it summertime now since it's all over with. We'll get ready for football season. The game with the PAG meter. We'll bring Maddie J back. Maddie's all fired up to get back. And listen, we're very controversial. We can't be censored. We were told we could say anything we wanted back then.
So this is going to be the PAG meter on steroids.
Yes, and we didn't say anything wrong. We just
but what you're saying, sometimes you say some shit people don't like, and that's wrong enough.
Fresno State is a big elephant in the room, and we talked about the Valley Children's naming of the stadium and how bad it is, and it's not as good as people think, and we got in trouble, and then we said, okay, no one's going to censor us. Matt said enough, and I support him. And so we're gonna do it the right way, just like you guys aren't censored, and this is why you guys have a great podcast.
Appreciate that.
Vanilla doesn't sell. Sorry, you want to say okay? Clovis knocked off El Diamante 4-3. Great.
I personally don't care about.
Well, and we're not always going to stroke egos.
Exactly, but people don't listen to just because Clovis beat El Diamante 4-3.
We also know that some people don't like us, him or me,
or me.
Don't necessarily.
And no one likes me.
That's fine.
I know, and I don't mind it anymore. Now, 10 years ago, I was upset. Now I actually love it. If you don't like me, I don't really care. But I'm going to tell you like it is because I've been around forever.
Yeah.
Okay? I've been doing this forever. Dinosaur. But when I leave, and it could be earlier than expected, who's going to take over besides you guys? You guys are going to, who's going to be the controversial guys?
Who are you pointing at?
Who's going to bring up the transgender issues that I get all the time? All the things like that no one wants to talk about.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just saying, if you might not like me, but no one else is going to bring up topics like this.
Well, and there's people that
3 years ago I brought this and I said before football, this is a disaster. And before, guys, remember it used to be D1 could go all the way to D5. Ridgeview one year, they went 1-9 and they played Division 5 football. And how'd that work out? So now they go, well, let's just make sure they only go down one base division. They shouldn't go down one base division.
If you have to go down, your season's over.
Yes.
That's an easy one to fix.
And you should be asked to go up.
Easy one to fix. Like your St. Louis Cardinals. They're terrible, so they're not going to go to the playoffs.
They're not going to go to the playoffs.
Hey, and as a coach, you got to swallow your pride.
Storm Chandler, I love you, by the way. I know you're a Cardinals fan, too.
You got to swallow your pride and be like, hey, we just don't deserve it. There's nothing wrong with that. You will get more praise from actual baseball people. I'm not talking about parents and shit because the parents don't understand. From actual baseball people, you would get more praise that you actually said we don't deserve to go to the playoffs.
I mean, listen, I go back to 21 where we weren't, like Andy wasn't going to go. And I was like, hey, man, this is my last year. I would like to go if you don't. And he still wasn't going to do it.
I love that.
That was a different situation. We ended up finishing 500, so it worked. But
you finished 500.
Yeah,
I'm okay with 500.
Me too.
I'm really not, but I am.
Yeah,
because you're at least even.
Well, and again, we've talked about it. Arguably, the CMAC that year was as good, if not better, than the track was with Memorial and Bullard.
How do you think that team would have done
this year?
No,
they did win.
We won it in 21.
They won it in 21.
What's the year? Last year you didn't go.
They didn't go.
They beat the 6 seed, the 4 seed, and the 2 seed.
We beat the 6-3-2.
You got hot at the right time.
Yeah, 6-3.
Now, a lot of people don't realize I actually played sports, but when I played at Bullard back in the day, okay, you had to finish first or second. Now, we already knew Bullard, we were going to be first. Who's going to finish second to go to the playoffs? If you finish third, guys, you're not going. They only took 8 teams in all of the valley.
Yeah, you'd get an at-large.
There was no Central Coast back then, but it was 8 teams, and that's it. In the Yosemite division, you had a Sierra and a Sequoia for the little guys, but that's it. You finish third, you're not going.
Yeah.
Now.
And it makes the season
and
important.
that's why your league games
matter.
Were very intense.
Very intense. Almost bench clearing fight. And every game was a playoff game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Let's not take everyone. And let's make it all matter.
These games mean nothing now.
Now that everybody can go, and you can have 8 wins and still go to the playoffs.
If you win, you actually lose, and that's a sad thing.
So we'll see. I just would love to maybe be a part of the conversation if we're allowed. That'd be great.
I think that.
I mean, I don't mind not being, but if you did want somebody's opinion, I don't mind giving it.
Yeah.
I think I've coached and played long enough to understand this a little bit,
And I'll buy lunch for the CIF committee. We'll all get together. I'll buy the lunch. We can sit and talk about what we can do, not only for baseball, well, for all. We need to be.
And listen, maybe logistically, some of our ideas don't work, and they're going to be the ones to know that. That's the AD's job.
Well, like what? Give me an idea.
Just transportation, travel. Like if you did a 2-loss elimination and you brought up Menachie having to go to Sierra, in a 2-loss elimination, that's a lot of travel, but. I don't know how you budget for that. You take care of it. You figure out a way. I mean, we went to Bakersfield, to Fresno, or to Fresno High, to
Arroyo Grande,
to LD, to the coast. Like you do what you got to do to win that ring. I mean, it's.
And that's the other thing too. And the High Desert League is with us now, and Bishop is in the middle of nowhere. And so every time they get on a bus, it's 3 hours.
Minimum.
We had him on the Arnie Palu, the head coach of Bishop, and he's like, Nick, we're right now when football starts, our non-league games, we have JV games and all that, but when league starts, no one has a JV team in our league. So he's got to try to schedule some JV games, and that's a 3.5-hour bus ride.
Yeah.
So it's not easy. I get it. If you could see some of these games, they did try to move them around so the travel wasn't bad. Others they didn't.
No, and listen, I'm not stupid. I know there's probably circumstances that are the reasons for some decisions at times. I get that, and but I mean, I there are ways to maybe do things differently. That's all. We're just trying to find better ways to do this to make it better for the kids,
you care.
more fun for the kids.
But let's not punish good teams and reward bad teams. Period.
Wow. Took an hour and a half of that show.
Yeah.
That was the perfect line right there.
What's the podcast name again?
The game.
Coming.
It's going to be the
on?
game, and I'll keep you posted.
With
Follow-
the Pagasaurus.
Yeah, just follow me on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram, and I'll keep everyone updated.
Nice. And we'll be looking forward to that. Pags, it's always fun having you on
My
here.
producer, Jake, will give me the right gear. That's what I'm waiting for.
Anytime.
You need any help with logos? I'll help you with some
I need
logo
logos.
stuff.
I need it all.
Anytime.
Okay.
Anytime. You're always welcome here too until that goes. Again, we'll be doing Twitter Spaces.
And even after.
Yeah. No, to follow the playoffs, we'll be doing stuff throughout it till it's over. Again, we'll try to be at some games. I'm going to the Madera Centennial game. I'm sure Pags will be out and about, and some other guys.
We should do it live like we did. We tried to do last year.
Yeah,
We should do it live Twitter. If you're in Madera, I'll be somewhere else, and we give updates.
Could be. Yeah, might be an option there. We'll have to see.
We'll have to see.
It's just gonna be too hot. I'm
It's freaking hot.
dipping out of there.
Well,
but
sit in the shade. Come
Yeah.
on. I know
There's
you'll
no
be the
shade.
I
I was thinking about going to that game too, but there's no shade.
there isn't.
Oh,
Not
not
in
in
Madera.
Madera.
No,
There isn't.
it's a
And the
sweat
booth
box.
is
I'll be in the dugout.
Yeah. Hey, there's air up there. We'll fire that air.
Oh,
up.
there is air up there.
Oh, there is. That's a great little stadium.
No,
by the way.
they did a great
That's
job.
the next one. We need to talk about who's the best high school stadiums around here.
Stadiums?
Fields, stadiums.
I mean, I think the Clovis Fields were pretty terrible this year. They were all brown and not.
The fields,
Yes,
the playing
the
surfaces.
playing
Yeah,
surfaces
yeah.
were terrible.
Dude, I drove by Memorials on 41. And I was like, that place
it's amazing.
is beautiful.
But they pay for that.
Yeah, no, I mean,
like
Pappy's
80 grand a
playing
year.
surfaces really. Fresno High's playing surfaces.
Yep.
Reedley's, their new ballpark's nice. The stadium's nice.
I mean, Sandrini does a great job.
Yeah, Bullard's is
Bullard's good.
yeah.
Fowler is just
Yeah,
good as
Fowler's
anybody.
another one.
Central's
Emmanuel.
good. Manuel. I
Is
love
Washington
that,
Union,
Manuel.
they have a pretty good one out
Yeah,
there.
they
the
do have
new
a
one.
nice spot. Yeah.
So,
Yep.
Yeah,
a lot.
People take pride, so why not have a great playoff format?
Let's do it.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. Okay, if you have a good,
And if we're off, hit us up. Let us know. Or if there's other ideas we're not talking about, we want to know.
I'm going to put it on Twitter.
Yeah.
When I leave here, I'm going to do a poll. Would you like to see what would you say, a double elimination tournament in each division?
So yeah,
or a
you're
championship
you're
two out of
asking
three?
should we shorten
or
the
do
season?
both. Would you rather see double elimination for the whole tournament or a double elimination for the championship?
Or a single elimination? I could do A, B, or C.
Yeah.
You like the one game,
Yep.
win or die, and you go home.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, I put it up there. Let's see what they say.
I will.
But again, Pags, always a pleasure. Thanks
This is
everybody.
always the best show. Hit or Die podcast.
We try, man.
Rocks, guys.
We try.
Yeah.
We appreciate everybody being patient. It's been a few weeks, I know, but we'll keep it grooving. We'll be following the dogs too throughout this last weekend, and hopefully they find their way into the Mountain West tournament next weekend. So
When they get in the tournament, do they win it?
well, they're playing hot right now
Hey,
at home.
Let's get in.
Yeah, let's one goal first, and then I'll answer that.
Book it. They're in.
I love your confidence.
Guaranteed. Slam dunk. it.
No, I'm with you. I don't
one
think you
want
at a
to play.
time.
I don't think you want to play Fresno State in the tournament.
They're going to be hot.
Yeah.
And then we're going to be at home. It's always an advantage, and I know that.
Let's bring a big crowd for that.
I think they'll show up. I really do.
I do. And even if Fresno State's not playing, come out and see some other games.
Yeah.
I just hope it's not $500 a ticket.
Yeah, we got to find out. I was kind of disappointed they started charging for parking this year.
Why would they do that?
I don't know, but
Because you know why? They don't have any money. And they're doing
And hey,
everything
listen,
they can.
but I'm down.
Yeah.
I'm down if I know that money's going to go.
I still did it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if the goal is to elevate and all this stuff, then fine. I'll gladly pay $5 to park.
I still like their snack bar. Their cheeseburgers are the
Yeah.
boss.
I just let's see it.
But I
happen.
want to see that money go back into,
Yeah.
like, even looking at the Hall of Fame pictures in the background. You know, those never
Been
they're,
updated.
they're like pink. They don't even. You can't even see who the pictures are anymore.
How much? What, $3 million? What do you think they need to redo that whole A to Z?
$3 million's a good start.
Yeah. From scoreboard all the way to the press box.
Now the scoreboard is nice. They have but even when Bennett was there, they had the electronic thing with the names on it and stuff. Well, there's no reason we shouldn't have that.
Yeah.
There are a lot of things, lots of ideas. I 3 million. I don't know. I was thinking like 10,
Well, don't get silly.
5 to 10.
Yeah, let's start with 5 maybe.
Let's get a couple $100,000.
Yeah. And
5
then-
would be.
So the stadium, and then you got to do the locker rooms. You do it all.
Yeah, we were in the visitor locker room. It was, I don't know.
It was rough in there.
And the visitor locker room was actually bigger than the home
But I don't think
locker room.
because
there's no coach's office.
Now,
and-
baseball wise, on the other Mountain West teams, how are their locker rooms?
Don't know. No clue. No clue. I'll have to ask.
Yeah,
I'm sure
I'd like
Obi
to
would
ask
say
some of the guys
something.
that played at San Diego State or something.
Yeah.
I'm sure San Diego State.
Now, before we go,
I'm sure
I gotta,
UNLV is nice.
I got to ask you guys: the Oakland A's are going to Vegas. What's your thoughts?
I don't care.
I don't
Fine.
care either.
Okay, whoa, okay.
They'll be fine there.
Heck yeah, they will. I think.
I mean, Oakland.
Coliseum was going to be there'll be
There's-
homeless shelter.
Yeah, there's
on
no.
steroids
They're
now.
not getting a new stadium. They're not. It's
The Oakland Coliseum should now be a like where playoffs are like.
It's the worst stadium in the United States to maybe
But
the world.
you played there at Clovis West. It's still a big league stadium.
yeah, it's enormous. The playing surface is beautiful.
But that probably won't stay. Do you think they put a minor league
The
team there now?
dugouts were insanely small.
Did they move Stockton or or like some whatever teams close to Oakland there?
I don't know what's going to happen to it. But right now,
Somebody's going to buy that and knock it all down.
playing there is
Because
probably
basketball,
great.
the Warriors are gone too.
Yeah, they're
So there's
gone.
nothing there. They just knock that down and it'll be something.
Or it'll be a homeless shelter. Newsom will make it a homeless shelter on steroids. Just camp everybody in there. You never know. But I just think as you're playing, it's a great surface. But watching, if I got front row seats behind home plate, I'm 80 yards away from the home plate. Okay, it's just horrible for
Yeah.
baseball. It's
Yeah.
over. Oakland, bye-bye. Vegas, it's going to be the way to go now.
Hey, Vegas is making a move. They're making a push
Hockey.
for. They get that F1 race this year. It's going to be pretty sweet to see all the stuff they got going on in Vegas.
God, how many years ago we said we'd never get anything in Vegas because of the gambling. Now look at it.
Yeah, it's everywhere. Yeah, there's some more stuff we'll be talking about coming out in the news. Baseball, we'll get caught up on some more MLB stuff. But we'll be following these high school playoffs through the end of it. So, again, we appreciate everybody downloading the podcast, watching, subscribing on YouTube. And, again, that's another episode of Hit or Die.
Hit or die.